basically the idea was that every quarter we get together, we do these strategic planning sessions, and they're great. If and kind of across the board, we all feel like if we didn't have those quarterly strategic planning sessions, then we would be not as far along in our life goals, relationship goals, and business goals. And so it is valuable, it is important. All the things that I always say about the quarterly strategic planning is true. It's just another tug on the flywheel of high performance people. High performance individuals do strategic planning, and they do it every quarter, and then they follow a goal execution management system like the Power Journal and get shit done day in and day out. That's what high performance people do. The problem that we've all been having, that I've been talking to, is on the GSD side of things, right? The daily execution. You start out, you do that quarterly planning session, you are all excited, you got everything aligned to your core values, your mission, your vision, and your goals are ready to go, and you just like full bore. Like, I'm excited to get in the best shape of my life. I'm excited to work on my relationship. I'm excited to move this thing forward in my business, whatever that thing is, or all of the above. And then you start to see those momentum and this tracking. And then, somewhere halfway through the quarter, you get off track and you're not using this as much. The weekly planning life happens, right? And that's where the GSD clubs through the WhatsApp group has been kind of, my goal has been that bridges the gap, but it still hasn't been enough. So the experiment for the quarter to come is, let's make these weekly calls a mastermind group where we, ALA basically becomes every week. We get together, and it can be men and women, whatever you're working on, whatever your goals are, whatever the strategy to move your life forward is. And you got accountability, you got community, you got camaraderie, you got commiseration, you got idea sharing. But every week we'll come and we'll say, okay, here's where I'm at with my personal goals, my business goals, my relationship goals. And we're reporting each week. Here's how my week went. Here was my biggest win. Here was my challenge. This is what I'm going to work on in a week to come. And then we go round robin, and we get to cheer each other on. It kind of reminds me of when Bill Raper, recently, a month ago, he had that big news. He got his promotion. He's been talking about it for a year, and he finally got it. And we were just all so excited for him. We kind of walked through life with him. And that's sort of what I want to see Awaken Life Academy become, at least again for this quarter, and we'll see how it goes. So it'll be an experiment. We'll see how it goes. I love creating content, but I feel like, and I've heard this feedback also, that we all have enough information. We have information overload. We don't need any more courses. We don't need any more content. We don't need any more skills. We need execution. We need let's take the stuff that we have and implement it. Let's take a strategy and execute on those goals. And if we do that week in and week out. Now, I've been a part of a mastermind group, actually Caleb's mastermind group for my marketing. And I'm basically really, that's where the credit goes to the idea, just been getting so much out of that. And simply, it's showing up. You just show up as a participant. In that group, Caleb's the facilitator. In the ALA, I'll be the facilitator. But as a participant and a member of that mastermind group, I just show up, and it's one moment where I don't have to think hard or create something, or I just show up, and I'm sort of guided through a process that helps me get the stuff done that's most important to me. And I want to do that. I want to create that environment for you, for our members, and see where it leads. So that's my thought. Would love to get your feedback, opinions, ideas. Like, does that fit something that you need? Jesse, I'll start with you. Does that fit something that you need? Does that fill in a missing gap, or is there something else that's missing? Like, how can we make this fit for you?
I think quarter is nice. I think just the natural cadence of things, at least from the power journal standpoint, you have your weekly meeting. If there was also like, I'll go 3 to 4 weeks pretty good right after the strategic planning session, and then right after 3 to 4 weeks something will derail me.
Yeah.
Either family, sickness, or just the busyness of life. Like, that accountability, I wish there would be an automatic, maybe you can set it up in settings in WhatsApp, or I don't know, but if you haven't posted in 2 or 3 days, you get a little gentle nudge. And then after a week or 2 with nothing, you get attend this 15-minute recommitment thing or something. I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there needs to be that, hey, you've been slacking. Get back on it, dude or dudette.
Yeah, I like that. I'm going to make a note of that and ask you more, but I don't want to stop the flow of your thoughts. Is there more? Is there anything else?
You and Tanya are probably the power couple. I would say if you guys are both consistent in that, versus if just one, like, I don't know, just, you probably have other members amongst the ALA that just one of the spouses goes. Do you find that if the partner is a suck, does that or drain, does that affect the other person and kind of slight edge you in the opposite direction? You know what I mean? Like, slight edge, do the little things, or is that the compound effect? Sorry, that's the compound effect. But kind of the same concept there, but
right, yeah, they're interchangeable, I think.
Yep. So,
but are you saying that as far as members of this group, if you have a couple, or I got confused because you mentioned me and Tanya, and then
right, I jumped. There's 2 things going on. I think if you're a power couple, that gets you special synergies.
Yes, true.
But if you're not,
synergy with your spouse, that is there's an exponential effect of that.
Correct. But if you don't have that exponential effect and you just have the standard effect by being by yourself, what are means to getting back on track?
Okay, so there's probably 3 categories that you can have. That power couple that's synergistic. You can have the individual who has a neutral partner, who it's kind of a net neutral effect, and the individual can go as much as it's up to them. If it's to be, it's up to me, and they can go, right? But then
Right.
you've got the third one where you got that you alluded to. There's a dragger. It's the opposite of the power couple, and you know, you would be more high performance if you didn't have this dragging you. A naysayer that's not just neutral but actually slowing you down. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the question?
So I think I haven't been a good product of the product potentially, or at least showing a good witness to it potentially.
To your spouse.
To my spouse. And so how
Okay.
do I become better at I think in terms of discipleship making, like disciple making disciple, when I need to probably just be like dropping seeds. Hey, this is what I did and it was really good. And her response would be, oh, that's good. I'm glad that you had that.
Mm-hmm.
Versus, oh, come join me in this. It's great. And then she just gets turned off even more. Do you know what I
Yes, I think so. So
And honestly, right now
it's a different strategy, right?
yes, it is a different strategy.
What
So
were you going to say?
I just think there's a lot going on in our lives right now. Again, I'm back to, am I in control of my life versus is life just controlling me?
Mm-hmm.
Especially since I went
Yeah.
back to work this week, it's just been nuts coming back into a whirlwind of just stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay, so
part of it might be my circumstances right now. We're trying to deal with a lot, and Dara got kicked out of school because she had a sniffling nose. We had to go to get a COVID test today, even though we know she doesn't have COVID. It's dumb.
they require it. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so you're talking about two different strategies. The goal being, I want to be a power couple, being the goal, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so if my goal is I want to be a power couple and we're both coming to this stuff, we're both working on stuff together, we both are, rowing in the same direction, we both are power journaling, whatever, right? There's a power couple dynamic. But we don't have it right now. And as far as it's up to me, what's the best strategy to move towards that direction if that's what I'm hoping for? That's the question. So you brought up two different strategies. One is just be a good example and maybe mention it, here's what I'm doing, without expectation. The other one is constantly inviting and kind of almost there's an expectation with that, right? So one is, lead by example with no expectation. The other one is, hey, I kind of would love it if you came to this. So I'm going to just keep inviting you, and that could be annoying. Is that what you're talking about?
That you've summarized it very well. Thank you. Okay.
So as far as a solution to that question, we don't have one, but that would be something you brought it up for a reason, right?
Yes. Part of it's, I think she would benefit a lot by journaling.
Mm-hmm.
And I have not been a very good example of that, or a consistent example of that, especially the last month.
I almost think for this group, like if there were some ground rules for this group, to create the kind of the culture of the group, it would be nice, I think, if it became the issue that you are working on and that you are presenting to the group and saying, hey, really trying to get my spouse here, but you know, there's this drag, and then the spouse finally comes and we all have this, you know, kind of sense about the spouse, and they're not necessarily, I don't know, there's a taint to it, you know, there's you know, I
I
think
see.
everybody would be happy that they were there, but there would be like, well, good thing you finally got there. I don't know. So maybe for the purpose of this group, we would want to like promote the strategy of, hey, what we do in this group, if you're hoping for a power couple and you want your spouse to come, just keep showing up, be the example, you know, let them know, but put that expectation bar down through the floor, and let's see how that works. And then anything beyond that could be handled like outside the group in like private coaching sessions.
Okay.
To me, that makes sense. What do you think?
Yeah, sounds better.
Cool. So I wanted to come back to I like your idea about, I'm paraphrasing it, what to do with slackers. Because that's a real thing in a mastermind group. If it's the exact same thing you were just talking about in a couple. A mastermind group that emulates the qualities of a power couple is everybody shows up most of the time, at least. And then those people that are not showing up, they kind of drag the group. So we need a process that, you know, if for whatever reason life gets in the way, whatever, something changes and you're not coming to the group, that's fine. We just need a simple, easy way to like sort of quietly exit you from the group. You're always invited back, but you have to jump through a hoop back basically to prove that, hey, it's not just like we're everybody's wondering, you know, where's so-and-so, where's so-and-so every week, instead of, we just know, okay, the process says if you haven't attended a certain number of meetings or whatever, then you're automatically out. And if you want back in, you're always welcome, but there's a little process to do that. What do you think of that, Jesse?
I like the I just thought of this and it kind of scares my little security gland, so you might like it. So you know, you have you know, you pay into this, so have $1 like a swear jar type of thing. You fall off the group, you got to put $1 in the swear jar to get back in,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, I know. That's an idea. I'm not saying, not rejecting it. I just thought of another idea though. There's another group that Tanya's a part of. If you miss it, I think it's like if you miss one or two, you're kicked out and you can't even get back in for 3 months or something. They have like this moratorium space where like you can't just like get out and come back in. Like if you're out for a while.
Yeah, excommunication from the church until you say you're sorry.
Yeah. Well, and really it's not, I mean, I definitely don't want to make it, it's all the reason for it, the why behind it is the quality of the group, you know, those that are showing up. The reason we're showing up is we're trying to get something out of it, which is true. Like we're trying to get high performance. We're trying to get better at our own game, and having true, you know, people pushing you and helping you with performance requires a level of excellence. And that's what we're trying to do. So I don't know, there's 2 ideas. Any other ideas?
Well, that goes to each one of us should have that goal of, you know, of growth and contribution.
Yes.
Um, hmm.
Darren, if you want to chime in, you can.
I like the one that you're saying, like what Tanya's group has, like, hey, here's the reason why we're doing the group. Like if people
Right.
people aren't showing up, people aren't doing what they're supposed to do, then the group doesn't work, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, Matthew learning to play football and wondering why everybody's all so excited. Well, he just finally did his job.
Yeah.
And we're all at the point where it's like, we're all grown people. I don't know if this is all men or not, but to be able to have like, here's the expectation. And if you don't meet that expectation, like no worries, but we're not going to have you in the group either.
Mm-hmm.
Because I guess like for me, I feel like I've got plenty of areas in life where I'm drugged down, and I'm kind of excited about the idea of being part of a group where there's like, the incentive for growth. And, like if you're not helping push the group forward, then we can't have you around, because if we're all pushing together, we're all going to get further than we would individually versus somebody who shows up maybe once in a while or isn't contributing or isn't doing the exercises, because I've been that person as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, a little bit of a kick in the butt isn't a bad thing.
Right. Yeah.
Like, we'd love to have you, but here's the expectation for this group.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I don't know if either one of you have ever been in BNI, but they had a good attendance policy. I can't remember what it was, but I actually got kicked out of BNI. And my story about it is, it was actually a total success, because the reason people go to BNI is to like grow their business. Well, I got too busy and I just couldn't go to the meetings anymore. And so I got kicked out for attendance, but I was like, well, all that is a success story. I just can't come anymore. So it's probably a good thing I'm out. See you later. Thanks for, helping me grow my business. There was like, no bad juju about it. It was like all good, but they did have that expectation. And the way BNI does it is, if you do have to miss, you have to find a replacement. I don't really want to do that, but there are some things that we can put into place that that kind of encourage or discourage not attending. I mean, like Matthew doing his job. I mean, the job here is you just got to show up. The minimum requirement is just show up and be present. Like show up and be present. So talk to me about the benefit to you personally. I know we've already kind of talked about it, Darren. Let me share first. I know my problem is I don't have enough accountability. And so I've been slacking. And I know when I know people are expecting me to be there, I will be there. I don't have an option, but left to my own devices, I might slack off. If nobody's going to be there, it doesn't matter, right? But so I need this for myself. And I know that this is, I've carved out something in this idea that's going to benefit me. As long as other people show up, it's going to benefit me. So I'm selfishly getting a lot out of it. But I want to make sure it's meeting a real need and in a good way for you. So what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think that's a good thought. I mean, the obviously the incentive to get something out of it is why we're doing it, right?
Right.
Like if this was a poker club with, and we were just drinking beer and smoking cigars, then I'm sure we would all be like super stoked for that. Like, we'd all perform, but like, this is about, life and relationship and business and like faith and making everything about life better. That should be the incentive. That should be a good incentive.
Yeah. Okay. And you worked on the life wheel exercise, and we're going to hone in on exactly, and we did that a couple years ago when you were a part of my Awakened Man Mastermind. So this should be a similar process for you. And I know you grew tremendously during that 3-month process of that group. So I hope that this will be a similar result,
Oh, yeah.
or maybe even hopefully better result than you even have then.
Yes.
So you've got personal stuff that you want to work on, and a group like this should, as long as it does what we think it's going to do, should be a good part of that for you.
Yes.
All right. Jesse, I kind of already know because you are always showing up, but is there anything that you have to add as far as like how this might be a
So there's
a part or not a part of your process?
There's another kind of thing that I think would maybe benefit the weekly meeting,
Mhm.
and maybe there's structures that could be implemented where, and I think you did this at first, but it's kind of waxed and waned, especially since 2 or 3 of us show up. But first 5 to 10 minutes needs to be like the 3-minute rule. Like we get gabbing, and it becomes 20 minutes of the session.
Yeah, keep it structured. Yeah, absolutely.
Um,
And I am actually really skilled at that. I just don't show it very often lately.
Likewise, you do seem
Well,
to
let's dial it up.
You do this at the end too, and I think that helps. Like, main takeaway at the end.
Mhm.
That keeps the taste in your mouth for at least till you go to bed.
Right. Yep. So we'll have a specific agenda. Everyone will know where we're at in the agenda, and we'll see it move forward, and it'll become fairly predictable. It'll be structured. That's good. Yeah, and then I think some level of minimum level of check-in on the WhatsApp group throughout the week. We'll dial all that in. All right, so the plan would be then to basically kick this off. I will plan to do let's do the life wheel exercise next Wednesday. And then we'll have the strategic planning session the Wednesday after that. Oh, I know I was going to ask, is Wednesdays at 4 still, I mean, any reason to change that time for you guys?
Not just for me. I mean, I typically tend to be driving during that time, but I don't want you to shift the class just because I'm driving. But
when would be your suggested if we were to shift it?
oh man, at this stage of the game, I mean, I don't know that I necessarily have a good time, unless it was like early morning. But that's tough for other people too. So, I mean, pretty much any window of time is going to have issues for me. So, I mean, this isn't a bad one from that standpoint, just that I happen to be driving during this time.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Are you East Coast or West Coast, Darren?
I'm West Coast.
Ditto.
I'm in Tigard. I'm not very far away from you.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'll take a look at that. That link, Jesse. Thank you. All right, so that's the plan. You guys both good for next week and the strategic planning session in 2 weeks?
Yeah, I'll be there.
All right. Got your power journals ready, and let's try and grow this group. Now man, woman, couple, all welcome. We're going to have the same format every single week. It's not a different topic each from week to week. It's going to be the same format. So that'll keep it simple as far as inviting people.
Sounds
All right.
perfect.
Any other thoughts or questions or concerns?
Nope, that's great.
All right. Cool. I appreciate your feedback and helping me think through it.
Awesome.
All right. See you guys.
See you guys.
Bye.